How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Now, I I must say it is easier to use, and it's much more relatable.
Right.
Yeah, much more relatable.
Awesome. Okay, so I've set up some questions. I've got a questionnaire, uh,
Okay.
and we'll go through it one question at a time. I'll ask you a question. I'll type in the answer so that I've got a record of what you said.
Yeah.
Um, try and give as full answers as you can.
Yeah.
Thing like if you can think of things like on a scale from 1 to 5, where if you can use those types of answers, that helps. uh,
Okay.
because we can quantify the answer a little bit more for data purposes.
Okay.
Um, okay, so let's get started. What would you say are the main tasks or activities that you use your ChatGPT on your phone for in your daily life? For example, have you used it to help make to-do lists or drafting emails or explaining something to someone else? Have you done anything like that?
All right. I've used it definitely for explaining something to somebody else. I've used it for role playing purposes to practice characters and things like that. And I've also used it for finding out information about certain things like that I find interesting, like tigers, for instance. I asked it information about tigers, medical information like who to get in contact with and what organizations to do with a certain disability. I've used it for just talking to when I just wanted to talk to somebody. I've used it for variety, and I've used it for explaining to us what Kathy's pills do. Kathy is my wife, by the way, and what my pills do, and what side effects they have, and things like that. And I have used it to draft letters, but I'm only practicing at that at the moment because it's good at drafting letters, but I'm not.
Okay, I've typed that in. I think now just go back through that. You've used it for explaining something to someone else. Do you have an example of that at all?
Yeah, like if someone asks me what cerebral palsy is, I know it sounds silly, but it gives a better answer than I do.
Right.
Yes, because it's got less emotion attached to it than I do.
Uh,
You know, I get hairy fairy and put more into it, but the chat GPT gives a straight answer and a more precise one.
I'll just enter that response. Okay, so the next question is personal life management. Has GPT so far helped you manage your personal life? For instance, have you used it for organizing your schedule, for finding important information, or writing letters? Well, you actually answered a lot of those questions already.
Yeah, I
So,
have used it for writing letters, and I have used it to explain my day-to-day pills.
who did you use it to explain that to?
Hey,
Who did you use it to explain it to?
uh, my carers.
Did Were there any tasks? Hold on, I have to fix something. Were there any tasks where you felt that the version that you're using, GPT 3.5, fell short?
I think it falls short in the premise of memory. it doesn't remember what you say. If we role play a game today, it won't remember that role playing game or the characters in it, or it won't remember your pills and the lineup at the moment.
Gotta write things down, isn't it?
Okay. All right. So you falls short in the memory department, won't recall details. Example, role playing today, won't recall the game state tomorrow,
Yeah,
won't recall pills or their lineup.
yeah.
Okay.
You have to remind it that, that these things, what these things are and how they go, and do it all over again.
Right. So hold on, I'll put that in there too. Have to
Yeah.
remind it every time, and go through the situation or situation all over again. Okay. Into that. Alrighty, so the next one is assisting Kathy. Have you used GPT, or sorry, how has using GPT impacted your ability to assist Kathy with her needs? For instance, has it helped with researching medical information, drafting letters, or communicating with healthcare providers?
And the answer to that is a simple yes. But yes, it does help that way, and it's. I think Kathy finds it. Well, it's like talking to another person, but this person, unlike normal people, listen to what she's saying, and actually try to fulfill whatever mission she wants them to fulfill, without argument or opinion or anything like that.
Right.
It might say
Doesn't have an agenda, if you like.
no, it doesn't have an agenda.
Right. So it sort of treats everybody equally and humanely.
Yeah,
Can I,
even more humanely than humans do, and I know that's been rough, but I think so. That's my personal opinion.
OpenAI should be paying me for this.
Oh, and also the other thing is,
Yeah.
sometimes Kathy and I have trouble with our words, but ChatGPT doesn't. It understands what we're trying to say, and if it doesn't, it asks us directly, and we just go over it with it.
Right.
Another flaw it has is it can't recognize that there's, say, more than one person in the room. So if Kathy talks and I talk, it mostly, because it's working with me, works with me.
It gets confused.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, um, we talked about the memory barrier, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So your response that I've put in, just tell me if you want to correct anything here. So has it impacted your ability to assist Kathy with her needs? Yes, it does help that way. Kathy finds it's like talking to another person, but this person listens to what she's saying, unlike most people, and tries to fulfill whatever mission without arguments or opinions or agendas, more humanely than humans do. Sounds rough, but Barry thinks so. Here's a personal opinion. Sometimes Kathy and he have trouble with their words. It understands what they are trying to say, and it doesn't. And if it doesn't, it asks directly. They just go over it without a fuss. Has flaws which can't recognize more than one person in the room. So if they're both talking, it gets confused over that. Okay. Thank it's telling me to thank you for your detailed response. Here's the next question. Specific impact instances. Can you share any specific instances where GPT has made a significant difference in your daily routine or tasks? For example, did it help you with any household chores or managing appointments or finding quick solutions to problems? Were there situations where you felt that a more advanced model could have provided better support?
As I've already said, it has helped, because we've just been new with it. It's a new thing to us, and we're still going through the glitches, and we're still learning from each other. And that's another thing with GPT.
Yep.
You learn from each other. It guides you how to in the way of using it and stuff. And yes, we are using it slowly in some things we do now. We do. That's me and Kathy. So, no, yes, and its information is quicker. It's almost immediate. It is immediate. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Next. Okay, so future plans and ideas. Do you have any ideas or plans for new ways to use GPT in the future to improve you or Kathy's daily life? For example, could it help you with learning new skills, improving your daily routine, providing better support? How do you think a more advanced model like GPT-4 could enhance these plans?
Well, in a big way, it could enhance if it gets a better memory, which I'm sure it will. Then it will be invaluable because we will be able to have a list of our pills, and we will be able to get chat GPT to tell ambulance drivers or nurses or doctors exactly what we have, and chat GPT will remember it. And we won't have to go through the sufferance of having to pull out the pills and show the ambulance people. We can just tell them straight away. And it will help us write letters because I'm just not a write letter person. So if I have to write a letter to a hospital or to anything like that, and if it's got an enhanced memory,
Yep.
it will remember the letter and we'll be able to go through it together. That kind of thing it will be invaluable for. Speech, a lot of my friends have speech impediments. So if I want to understand them, it'll be able to break that speech impediment down and tell me what they're saying. And it also, as I get older, my hearing's not so good. So it'll also be able to help me in that direction. There are so many things that I can foresee, I couldn't put them in a list.
We're going to brainstorm a list later, but for now, we'll move on. Let me just check all my spelling before I do move on, because I don't want it to. Enter. Next, it's like doing a phone interview for when they ring you up and they ask you to do a phone interview. Okay, so household impact. How has the use of GPT impacted the overall dynamic in your household? For instance, has it helped reduce stress, save time, or improve communication between you and Kathy or perhaps other people in the house. Can you describe any limitations you've encountered that a more advanced model might overcome?
I think I've covered most of the stuff that the advanced model might overcome, such as big one is memory. But also there's what else was it? There's sometimes confusion with certain things, but you know, Chat GPT is not invulnerable to confusion. Also, I think they should give it a wider variety. Put it with stuff like YouTube, and then things would go much faster and much quicker.
How would you, sorry, just to be clear, when you say put it with things like YouTube, do you mean like putting ChatGPT in YouTube or putting YouTube in ChatGPT, or did you mean something else?
Putting YouTube in Chat GPT so that information can go through, and the same with Google. If it was attached to Google,
Right.
and you had Wikipedia, off you go. You know, some people can't read, some people can't, are dyslexic. So it could help in that way, and they could find out information and deal with their disability at the same time. And let's not forget that Chat GPT does languages. One time we were talking about languages and it did Māori for me and explained what it was saying. So, you know, it's got such a wide variety that it could help people with.
Yep, go on.
And also, the biggest weakness it has is what it will cost.
Right.
For any disabled person.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you something. No, I've lost it. Never mind. If I remember, I'll come back to that. All right. Next question. Well, this is a summary. Okay, we must have been through all the questions.
Mr. Rolfie won't help pay for it.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through a summary of what we got from that. Okay, so first of all, one, main tasks and activity. Barry uses GPT 3.5 for explaining his condition, researching role-playing games, interests in things like tigers, medical information, drafting letters. Enhancements that you might get from GPT-4 would be improved accuracy, real-time interaction. These could make the tasks even more efficient and precise. Personal life management, current use, writing letters, explaining medical details to carers, limitations, lack of memory, requiring repetitive explanations. GPT-4 enhancement, memory capabilities would allow GPT-4 to recall details in previous interactions, reducing repetition and improved efficiency. So 3, assisting Kathy. Current use helps explain things to Kathy and communicate with healthcare providers. Strengths, provides clear, objective explanations and understands her communication needs. Limitations, cannot recognize multiple speakers in the room. Better handling of multiple speaker environments will come with GPT-4, with sophisticated speech recognition. Specific impact instances, current use, learning to use GPT for various tasks, finding information quickly. Enhancements, faster and more reliable responses, more intuitive interactions. Future plans and ideas, remembering medical details, aiding with speech and hearing impairments, translating languages. GPT-4 enhancements, memory capabilities, handling of medical information, multi-language support. Household impact, reduces confusion, provides information, helps with disabilities, limitations, again, memory and cost. Enhancements would be enhanced memory, integrating browsing for easy information access and support for various disabilities. Does that cover all your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's great. Do you want to talk about any other ideas we can think of for how it could be used? And I can do some brainstorming with GPT now.
Well, Imagine if you could literally put it in a computer.
Well, that's what they're doing. The new versions of the Microsoft laptops that are coming out have it embedded into them, and they're going to be able to remember everything you did on your computer too. Um, so yeah, they're getting very advanced like that.
Because then you could take the book that I was trying to write
Hmm.
and I could put the information into the computer, the book,
Hmm.
and then it could correct what I'm trying to write and explain to me what needs correcting and what needs. And then I could actually come up with the book that I want.
That's right. You
Yeah.
could you could absolutely do that.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
could you could probably even do it now if we can get you that GPT-4 subscription, the Plus subscription. We've had
Okay.
couple of donors so far. So that's good. It's looking good. If we got the give a little page up this morning, so
Yeah.
there's that's happening. We have a
in
YouTube
my book.
website, sorry, YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I put up a video already, and we'll put this video up later
Yeah.
for people to look at as well. And yeah, yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask GPT if it can think of any ideas for things. Oh, my alarm's going off.
Have you got games today?
Sorry, what's that?
You got games today?
I do not have games today, but I do have streaming today. I'm doing a show later called Nerd News. So that's with Dungeon Studios.
Uh,
Okay, any other service?
Are you and Charlie doing a one-on-one vampire game?
Yeah, yeah.
How's she going in that?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, it's very role playing heavy, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll come back to that. I want to keep this video clean of any extraneous information, so I
Okay.
edit it.
Okay.
Okay, so brainstorming with Barry use cases. I just wanted to make another comment. You did mention that it was more humane than most people.
Yeah.
I'll
At the moment,
make
because
sure that is in the notes because I think
yeah, definitely.
what it's doing now, but okay. On brainstorming use cases. Summarizing key points. All right. So, all right. So, brainstorming additional use cases with GPT-4. Okay. So, assuming that we get the new model, assuming that
Yeah.
we get the sponsorship, assuming that you have access to it on your computer, you can use it with voice, you can take pictures with it and get it to explain the pictures,
Yeah.
assuming that it remembers a certain amount of things. Now, to be fair, it doesn't remember everything unless you add it as a document. Okay.
Okay.
the,
Okay.
the thing is too that you and I can work together to some degree, and I can help you with some of this stuff. So that might happen. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about health and wellness management first of all. All right. So
Ooh.
maybe things like tracking health metrics like blood pressure or glucose levels, or reminding you to take medication on time. Well, those,
Reminding. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah. So reminding you for medication.
Yeah.
So reminding for it's important. Okay. Is there
And
anything that you personally would like to track about your own lifestyle that you could see a use for, because this thing spits out graphs, for example.
Okay.
It's beautiful graphs. And that might be useful for you to go, well, hey, I'm eating too much of this shit, or I'm not getting enough of this exercise, or,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
financial stuff.
Definitely blood pressure, because I have trouble with my blood pressure sometimes.
Right.
I'd like to make a graph of that, and it gives me some idea.
Because we could do things like look into getting you like do you know what a Fitbit is?
Anxiety.
No.
So a Fitbit is like a watch, right? Goes
Yeah.
on the wrist, tracks
Yeah.
tracks your heart rate, tracks your blood pressure, it tracks your footsteps. I mean, that may or may not be relevant to you. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But
Yeah.
it tracks all this medical data all day, every day, and then it feeds it into a database, and it
Yeah.
uses it to work out decisions that you can make to, improve your life.
Okay.
And it could be useful for medical diagnoses too. So those are things that could be useful. It could come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They've got those watches that the ambulance, it gets straight to the ambulance if something goes wrong.
Right.
Imagine if you had a chat TBT that was keeping track of that, and when something happened to you, it just rung the ambulance straight away.
Right. So automating emergency responses.
And it could automatically tell the emergency people what's happening with your heart right when it's happening, and what's happening with stuff like that. That would be great.
Or asthma.
And if you're having an asthma attack, it could tell them what level of asthma attack it is, and so forth and so on.
Like me.
And then it could do an automatic straight away run of the person's medical history, like what pills they take and so forth and so on.
Wouldn't that be great, right?
That would be great.
Right.
Then you get past all the crap of having to take out,
Yep.
Now,
I suspect that a lot of this stuff is possible right now, but they are outside of the, financial capacity of people like us,
Yeah, and that's well, Chat TP, if they don't make it too expensive,
Yeah.
it could be, best way to put it is the poor man's protector, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The poor
Well,
man's protector.
they have claimed that GPT-4 is going to be free. They said that about 3 weeks ago. Haven't seen it yet. So we'll see. But even so, it's about 40 New Zealand dollars a month, I think. And if I think it's a little bit cheaper for the year. So I'm trying to raise $400 to get you a yearly subscription.
Okay.
So that would make a big difference, I suspect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put that stuff in. That's one. All right, so emergency preparedness, providing instructions during emergencies, helping to contact emergency services quickly. Could GPT assist in creating and managing an emergency plan? Yes, I think we just talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Okay. 3, learning and education. Helping you learn new skills or providing educational resources. For example, could you use it to learn a new language or master a new hobby?
My answer to that, even in the short time I've had it, would be yes.
Okay, so you've used it already for D&D.
Yeah. And I've used it already for a language.
So Māori.
Yeah.
So that's 3, 4, social interactions and communications. Facilitating communications with friends and family. Could GPT help you write messages, set up video calls, translate conversations in real time? Things like that, possibly even record conversations and then summarize them later.
Yeah, I think it could. I think it could.
Yeah, is that stuff you'd be interested in?
Yeah, because sometimes when we have, say, one of our role-playing games, I don't remember all of the details. And if I had somebody I could just go chat GPT, what was last week's role-playing game about?
Right. Where did we leave it off?
Yeah,
character?
where did we leave it off? Instead of having to go through the whole thing, I could say,
Right.
at that point, what were we doing?
Right.
And,
You could, I'm just going to throw this in there too. This is not in my questionnaire, but I realize that you could do things like, can you go through the log of all of our games and tell me what you know about character X?
yeah,
And can you infer what you think they will do under these circumstances?
yeah,
It can do that. It can predict actions based on what it knows about someone.
okay.
So you
Okay.
could do that. You could use it for planning and scheming. So that's pretty cool. You'll probably take it
Yeah.
a little if you're not careful.
That would be the GM's thing.
To be fair, I do use it for that. Okay, so next question is about home automation. Integrating with smart home devices to control lights, temperatures, security systems.
Yeah, that's already been on my mind. Yeah.
Right. So yes, this has occurred to
Because there was one time when Kathy was in the house by herself. Now, if she had had Chat GPT, we can already talk to our TV and ask it to find stuff for us.
Well, that's good.
But sometimes it doesn't work. But ChatGPT can not only do that, it can literally turn off lights for Kath. That would be great. It can literally, if you were really sophisticated, pull the blinds for her, and she
Lock the doors.
lock the doors,
Lock doors. What
and
about your beds?
yeah, and control the beds, and make a call to the police if she needs it for some reason, and it would give her a sense of independence in a way, because she'd be making the decisions and it would be doing it for her.
Right. Right. So next one is about financial management. Would you use it for assisting with budgeting, tracking expenses, understanding financial statements? Could GPT-4 help you manage your finances more efficiently?
Probably, and the part about understanding financial, that would be great.
Right.
That would be great, because you don't always understand what the heck's going on with your money, you know.
Right. And the thing is, I know your budget lady, and she is amazing, and I absolutely trust her. She's been a friend of yours for years. But there are probably people who are in your situation who they either don't have a close friend like you do that can do that for you, and they have to rely on somebody else who they don't know, who they don't necessarily trust.
Yeah.
And so you could get GPT to take the data that they give them back and say, hey, can you check that this guy's not ripping me off?
Yeah.
You'd use it for helping keep people accountable to you and make sure that you advocate for yourself. I imagine.
Yeah. Like you can, and also it helps if you want to send them a letter. ChatGPT can send it and help you write the letter itself to your specifications.
Right. Okay. 7, legal and administrative tasks. Would it help you with understanding legal documents, filling out forms? How would it help you navigate complex legal or administrative tasks? Have you considered those things?
Yeah, I've considered them. There are some forms that have confused me, and like doctor's forms and stuff like that have confused me. And it would have been nice to have
something like making a will.
Yeah, well, I can see it doing that. I can see it helping with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. There are probably other examples. I don't know if you can think of any others, but if you do, tell me.
Yeah.
I'll add them later. Entertainment and leisure, providing recommendations for books, movies, games based on your interests. Do you think ChatGPT-4 would enhance your leisure activities?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It would. It would. The danger you face with ChatGPT is you just might get a little bit too attached to it.
Right. Right.
I mean, I've only used it a couple of times and I'm getting too attached to it.
You're using it every day, just about.
Yeah. I use it every day to try out a new thing.
Right.
And I'm getting
So, yeah, you get a bit attached to it. And I think Kath you're kind of liking it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kath is kind of
I,
liking it too.
What does she like about it?
have a go.
What do you like about it?
I listen to you.
Eh?
I listen to you role play.
Oh, she likes listening to me role play with it.
I haven't used it at all.
She doesn't use it right out, but I use it more than she does. But
Not at the moment.
yeah, at the moment she's not feeling too hot. But
right. If she wanted to, would she do it directly, or would she get you to do it?
If you wanted to use it, would you do it directly, or would you get me to do it for you?
Well, if I had to, I would get you, because if my leg jumps, my arms go.
Yeah, because she has trouble with it. Oh, that's another thing we didn't think of. Yeah. Because she has trouble with the jumpy leg, it makes her arms throw things out. So she's worried about throwing the whole phone or something like that.
That's all part of my cerebral palsy.
But if you put it in a
I didn't have it before.
If you put it in a place where it could sit.
Right, you just put it on a table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, and she didn't need to touch it, and all she needed to do was talk to it.
Yeah, like we did when I was at your place the other day, and we just put it on the bed.
Yeah, then it would be easier for her. So there's another thing. You would have to, if you were giving it to disabled people or even elderly people, examine what problems they have, and then you could use ChatGPT to you'd have to adjust ChatGPT to that disability.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, last but not least, mental health. Offering mindfulness exercises or motivational support, or getting it to come up with strategies for managing stress. You could use it for journaling or something like that too, or just for general therapy. You could say to it, I've had a really hard day today. This is what I'm going through. It's been awful because this, and this happened. And
Barry.
Jack Bloody Bum has done a thing that I don't like, and it's causing me frustration. What do you think I should do?
Yeah. No, it'd be good for that, and for all-round loneliness. I mean, some people just have trouble dealing with people,
right?
And the chat GPT could do that for a person that has trouble with people. And if they needed someone to practice with, chat GPT would be perfect.
Right. So good for practicing people skills.
Yeah.
Play music.
Eh?
The only way I can do it is put that thing around my neck and I'll role play with Christina.
No, Kath was just saying she's got this thing that she puts over her head, and you can put the phone into this holding thing,
Oh, yeah.
and that's the way she could do it.
She could just put it on the table.
Yeah,
Honestly, she could just put it next to her. She doesn't even have to touch it.
she likes to watch the little ball thing go.
Right, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Very good. She likes. Okay, well, we're pretty much done. Unless you've got any other things or comments, last minute ideas.
No, but it's a new generation and a new time, and if this is the kind of example of things they're coming up with, for once it's a good example. It's got a variety of things that I never thought you'd be able to do, but it does it. Yeah,
Tell me this then. This is a question that I just come up with. As a person that has been through a number of different changes in society over the course of your lifetime,
yeah.
how do you feel about this coming age of technology and artificial intelligence, and even robots are coming too?
Yeah. I think if chat stuff like chat GPT and robots can fulfill a a good outcome for the human race,
Not go bad.
and not have that fear that we all have that the um, the technology is going to take over. Um, I think it's going to be great because look at how independent you can be. Look at even with the model we have now. I have found things that it's useful for, and it's helped things. It's just very useful, and we're using the old model, not the new one. So what else can come? As long as we keep our heads and we don't do stupid things with this technology, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good world, you know. But we also have to make it, and this is the hard thing, we have to make it and figure out ways to make it affordable for everybody. Not just for the rich guy who can afford it, but for everybody that needs it. For once, we need it to be for everybody that needs it.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I am going to take this video and do things with it and get all the information out of it and put them into documents and useful kind of data, I hope, and use that to leverage some interest in helping this particular cause, I hope. So, yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Tahira, for your assistance in this matter. I
Anytime.
look forward to getting you some new tools and as soon as possible. All right,
Okay, thank you.